Hi, good evening, guys. So happy Thursday once again, and welcome to E-numan with Thysz and Raffy. Obviously, it's just me tonight because my partner Raffy had a dental surgery and won't be able to join us. But we still have very, very hot items for you tonight. At maganda at masaya ang ating talakayan. Puro alak at kwentong inuman straight from the source. And I'm so excited to introduce you to our guests later. But let's start with our COVID updates. Um, of course, napaka-importante sa atin dito sa Quarantalk Media to talk about the updates for COVID-19 cases in the Philippines. We always start with this. Total active cases is now at 58,823. Total cases, 248,947. That's an additional 3,821 cases. Total deaths, 4,066. Total recoveries, 186,058. 563 additional recoveries as of today. So we really hope tuloy-tuloy. It's been told na the COVID curve has been flattened somehow. But we all have to prepare for another wave. So I hope everyone uh, gets to protect themselves. Of course, with the help of our government, we get tested and we get treated properly. So as we all know, every Thursday it's Inuman with Thysz and Raffy. Partner, if you're there and listening, hello. We miss you here. Our Inuman session is where you bring your favorite drink and your most valuable lessons on love, politics, and everything under the sun. Ito ang mga aral at kwento na minsan lumalabas lamang tuwing inuman. So let's bring the bar home. This is Inuman with Thysz and Raffy. Ilabas ang pulutan. Okay, so our pulutan are of course the most pressing topics online this past week, no, since last time nag-usap last Thursday. Number one na dyan and most important for me, I guess, is well, it's kind of hard to talk about it, but it's really because it's really painful, especially for the LGBT community. But the president has granted absolute pardon para kay Lance Corporal Joseph Scott Pemberton, who was convicted of murdering, killing the transgender Miss Jennifer Laude. So it's such a controversial decision at something na talagang maraming nag-react, no? Because it was so unexpected. Even ang part or the side of Pemberton was, they were really confident na papanig sa kanila yung batas to let Pemberton go because of his good behavior. But we believe kami in the LGBT community that he should not have been granted any of these. It's a heinous crime, and he should have served his full sentence. Dun pa lang nga actually medyo on for a death, unlawful death. Yung sentence ni Pemberton is not even that long because it was only he was found guilty only of homicide. But nevertheless, he's still a convicted criminal, and we continue the fight because alam naman natin ang what kind of message this brings. Hindi niya pinahalagahan ang buhay ng isang transgender. They're supposed to be, well, the first things first, she's a Filipina. And this person is a foreigner who committed a heinous crime in our country. And dapat full extent of the law yung punishment, pero hindi nangyari yun. We don't know what the motives are, kung ano-anong teorya ang lumabas, but one thing remains. Isang kababayan natin ang pinaslang nang walang kalaban-laban and wala siyang nakamit na hustisya dahil pinalaya yung killer niya. So moving on, sunod nating pulutan, napakainit. Language talk, guys. So, ano ba talaga ang uh, Philippines or you know changing they call it in the United States actually Filipino Americans kasi nalagay na sa dictionary.com yung description na pinksy which is an ungendered uh, name or katawagan sa isang Pilipino. So napakalaki niyang usapin no sa language I guess and like marami nang nakuhang punto from everyone's side. But from what I get is it's something na hindi naman ini-impose ng Filipino American community na nasa diaspora. Um, and hindi naman siya sinasabi na ito na dapat yung tawag sa lahat ng Pilipino. Because as so claimed by us in the mainland, yung mga proponents ng ayaw ng ganitong katawagan. But I also understand why, it could be felt that way. May tinatawag tayong prescriptivism. So pag sinasabing ito lang dapat or ito lang yung may pagpipilit ng kung anong dapat katawagan, even if we understand language evolves, etc. And we want to be able to be sensitive to the needs of even people in the diaspora. So it's a continuous discussion, and I think it benefits everyone if we're able to talk about it and discuss it and have an open mind about it. But the thing is, ang ayaw siguro ng lahat is ipagpilitan ang something na or make it feel imposed, no? Um, if you feel like you have to use it, for me, ito yung opinion ko. If you feel like you have to use it, then use it. I have nothing against it. But there's some sort of a line that gets crossed when you say that you have to impose it. No? So that's just my opinion on it. It's an ongoing discussion. So I love that the internet is bursting alive with language discussions like that. It keeps language discourse alive. And I think it's a good way para din mag-usap-usap at magka-cross-culture conversation ang mga Filipino Americans and us here in the mainland. Because it's been a long time na walang major discussion point yung dalawang cultures na to. So next, the last one for our Pulutan tonight is, of course, we the youth vote. Okay, so this is a non-partisan effort to encourage more and more of the youth to register to vote. Since the start of the registration period, September 1, this was launched by multiple groups, but with one message, who introduced themselves as people who are concerned, of course, made up of young Filipinos from different fields. They recognize the untapped power of the Filipino youth for change. So it is said that there are 40 million potential new registrants for the 2022 elections. Whatever opinion you have politically, I think the best way to really exercise it is to involve yourself in the democratic process of electing somebody. So elections are very, very important right now, and there's no voter if you don't register. So this is a call for you, to everyone watching, to please, please register. Add your voice, actual voice, to the noise by voting. And you cannot be a voter if you don't register. The whole process of actually registering is in We the Youth Vote page, social media pages. They are on Twitter, they are on Facebook, and they're on Instagram. Of course, it's especially more difficult to try and register, go out and register, because you have to physically go there right now that there's an ongoing pandemic. But we have to keep safe and eliminate, try as much as you can to remove the risks of going out, but do so for this very, very important thing. And that's actually voting. So if you have never voted, or if you're part of the youth who's going to be the first to be a first-time voter, please do consider following the guide that We the Youth Vote has online. So again, that's We the Youth Vote on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. You will see this campaign reiterated throughout the entire registration period. At marami pang mga galaw at mga efforts to bring voter and registration education out in para sa inyong lahat. So, eto na. Mag-iinuman na tayo. Excited na ako. Alam niyo kung bakit excited? Kasi meron akong mga drinks na pinadala ng ating mga guests. So what are these? Ito yung mga tanong natin. Itong sasagutin ng mga guests natin. This is so interesting. A tarsier drink. And this one, a blonde ale. So this is so interesting and silang lahat makakasagot ng mga tanong natin yan. Ito na ang ating inuman session. All right, so here we are and I'm going to introduce our guests for tonight. Lahat sila ay members ng Philippine Craft Kings, which is a website dedicated to selling local craft beer in the country. So let's welcome our guests. Hola. Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hello.
All right. Here's our out. Drinks are out. Ito yung maganda sa mga ganitong inuman eh. Pag yung guest, matik na, alam mo yung nakalabas na kaagad yung iniinom nila. So like, thank you for making my job easy. I don't have to ask you to bring out those drinks. There you are, and well expected for guests who are working in the liquor and drinks industry. So welcome everyone to our guests and to everyone who's joining us and watching this. Or they are the Philippine Craft Kings. So I'm going to introduce first of all Karla and Jazel and Emil. So say hi, guys. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us on your show.
So,
thank you, Thysz.
You're welcome, guys. I just hate that Raffy isn't here because, like, Raffy is, also I guess one of your biggest recent customers because ang laki ng order
he is
recently. So, but we wish him the speediest recovery for his molar surgery. Too bad, Raffy. But here we are. We're gonna fly the flag for you. So let's start. Let's quickly start. We're gonna talk all about craft beer and local liquor, local cocktails, local drinks that we can find in the Philippine Craft King website. That's thepck.ph, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. All right. So that's the website where you can find their stuff. But let's go around the room and have a quick intro for everyone. So just tell us your name and what do you do for Philippine Craft Kings? And maybe let's start with if you're gonna meet somebody, what's the first thing or first craft beer you're gonna recommend to them to drink? So parang, I guess that sort of connects to your personality. Ano ka as a craft beer na pwede mong i-recommenda sa unang-unang, like, first time mo makikilalang tao? So that's your name, what you do for Philippine Craft Kings, and what do you think you are as a craft beer? So let's start with Karla first. Karla first.
Me.
Yeah.
Yung first person, laging nakakatakot. Laging may kaba.
Inuman lang to. Isang shot lang na, Karla.
I'm Karla. I'm one of the sales for PCK. So, ako yung nagbebenta ng beer. Well, bago yung COVID or bago yung pandemic, ako yung naghahanap ng pwestuhan ng beer. So, that would be mga restaurants, hotels. Ayan, mga ganon. And then, it's hard. Your question is a bit hard. Kasi I'm an IPA drinker. So, I like,
IPA.
yes, I like higher ABV or yung alcohol by volume. Pero kasi kung yung kausap ko, first time pa lang mag-try ng craft beer, hindi ko isa-suggest yung IPA. So, we're stuck. And then, siguro I'd let them try a blonde ale first.
A blonde ale.
Ano.
I think I have one of those here. So maybe that's what I'm gonna try first. This one.
Yes, I have that too. Ayan tayo.
Yay!
Sabay tayo.
Cheers. Okay, so thank you, Karla. So it's a blonde ale for Karla for the first time
Yes.
drinker. Jay's next. Oh, can Jace hear us?
See?
Hi, Jace.
Are you
Okay.
okay?
Are you okay?
Si
Okay,
Emil na muna.
Emil na lang. Yeah. While I open my beer.
Oh,
Wow.
all right. Okay, so beers. I think I didn't send you one, pero the ones that I've tried when I got first introduced to craft beers and their packaging really struck me. By the way, I forgot to mention. Yeah, hi guys, I'm Emil. So I'm in charge of modern trade for Philippine Craft Kings. Biglang nag-ano. Yeah, I'm in charge for modern trade. So modern trade are your supermarkets, your convenience stores. Ooh. Pero yeah, that happens. So I'm in charge of supermarkets. So yeah, sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So ayun, I handle those accounts, and then so basically craft beer is readily available na din. It's not just on your bars or restaurants. And then craft beer I would like to introduce. Just like Karla, if you're new into the craft beer scene, I think you should start with the blonde ale because those are that is like the equivalent of your Sanmig Pilsen. So if you're used to drinking a Sanmig Light or Sanmig Pilsen, so go for a blonde ale. Yeah. So if you want to have a good start, then pero if I were to really recommend, I would, because I prefer hard liquor. So I would go for this one. I don't know if everybody. Yeah, and so Sunstoke. So it's not a good start, but it's a really good beer. So it's under the category of dark beers. Yeah. So this is
Dark
by
beers.
Nipa Brew naman, and yeah. So the good thing about dark beers is that you could pair it with any kind of roasted or fried food or even seafood. So talagang
Wow.
if like you want something to drink while having your meal at the same time, so go for a dark beer. That's my story.
Right. Okay, I think Jace is back. Hey, Jace.
Yes,
She's
I'm
back.
back.
Okay,
So
so
sorry.
yes, same question. You guess your name and then what you do for PCK, and then your recommendation for a first
Hi,
time
my
craft
name
beer.
craft beer drinker. All right. Hi, my name is Jazel. I am one of the owners and founders of the Philippine Craft Kings. And
Woohoo!
I guess to kind of to kind of show you how indecisive I am, normally when I first meet somebody and they're new to craft beer, I always ask them what they normally drink. And then from there, that's when I recommend. So ang favorite challenge ko actually is somebody that says na, oh, I really like wine. I'm not really a beer drinker. So when I hear that, I get really excited because I know that I'll be able to find something that, wine drinkers are going to like. And hopefully my hope is always to convert them to start drinking craft beer.
Because
Yeah.
I
So normally
understand.
pag
I
wine
understand.
drinker, normally blonde ang gusto nila.
Okay. So something, because I understand parang wine na din, it's as intricate as winemaking, I guess. Craft beers are, there's so many ways you can flavor it, and it can be as sweet as you want, it can be as bitter as you want, strong as you want, and
Yes.
it's not just when people think about craft beer, it's way beyond your usual um you know beers that you can find in the grocery store, or like in the convenience
Mm.
store. um so I guess we can start off our discussion with that, no? So a 101 on craft beer making. I guess maybe I could shoot this question to
Yeah.
Jace.
Mm-mm.
Like, first of all, what do you consider as craft beer? Like, what's the basic definition of what a craft beer should be? What's like the basic things that should happen so that you can have a craft beer?
The most basic first is, I guess, if you're going to be a bit technical about it, is the
Mm-hmm.
size. So, microbreweries have a very specific scale and specifications for you to be able to call yourself a microbrewery. The second would be you have to make beer with 100% pure malts, hops, yeast, and of course, water, which means that wala siyang adjunct ingredients. So wala siyang additives like corn or rice or any fake sugars. And then the third that we always say is that most craft beer owners are, businessmen. So these are your small medium enterprises, which means that they are not owned by big multinational companies.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's more of a matter of size in terms of when you say it's like an industry standard when they produce
Yes.
craft beer. So it's more galing sila sa mga microbreweries na tinatawag, no?
Mm-mm.
But the beer itself, yung mga microbreweries na to can definitely make anything, any beer that they want, given that they have all the ingredients, right?
Yes, correct.
Correct. So, I'm so interested. Like maybe Karla, since she does sales, um, what if like what's the state of like the local craft brewery here? Like, parang I know it's been a thing for some time. But if you can articulate maybe when did it start, like a quick history of how it all started here,
Mm.
paano siya lumaki, and then eventually become as big as the website of Philippine Craft Kings. Yeah, so that's Carla's turn to answer.
Oh, I think she got.
Charles?
Oh, I think she
I think
froze.
she got
Okay,
stuck.
okay. Maybe
I can
you can
answer
save her
this
on
for
that.
you.
You can save her on that.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Uh,
gonna be next.
like,
Don't
but
freeze.
don't freeze. In a nutshell, craft beer has actually been around for quite some time. In fact, the very, very first brewery opened about 17 years ago, and it was a very small microbrewery in called Pipo Praha.
Oh.
And but it really, really boomed and it started growing around 2013, 2014,
Mm-hmm.
when Katipunan came out, and there were about 8 breweries at the time. In
Mm-hmm.
2013, there were just a handful of them, and then they just
Oh.
kept growing and growing and growing. And today we have, I believe, over 50 microbreweries all over the Philippines now. And because
50.
people know what
Wow.
it is, yeah, and people, have really come to enjoy craft beers. We actually have microbreweries in Palawan. We have a microbrewery in Tagaytay. We even have a microbrewery, I believe, as far as Sagada. So
Oh, wow.
microbreweries today are not just centered around Metro Manila, they're actually all over the Philippines.
So it's
We even
really
have in
a
Cebu.
nationwide
Oh,
thing. Yeah, it's really
Yes,
nationwide thing.
nationwide.
Nag-expand na siya, no? So, like, ako kasi, my basis for craft or the knowledge that I have for craft brewing is very connected to how the US does it. Na parang only
Mm.
major cities have it. Because maybe resource restricted. But I'm very happy to know na even the provinces already have their own, and they're encouraged, and they're able to actually sell and put out their own products. So
Yes, and the ones in the provinces, the microbreweries today currently, even the ones in the provinces are really really good. Masarap,
really,
masarap na
really,
talaga yung beer nila. Yeah.
that's amazing to know. And like I want to know more about that. So okay, they all froze.
Oo nga eh. Well, is
Tayo
it,
na
or
muna.
am I the
Tayo
only
muna,
one
Jazel.
left? Oo nga eh.
Okay, Emil's back. Okay. Some technical difficulties,
We're
guys.
coming
Very
back.
sorry.
We're coming back.
We're coming back. So Emil, maybe the next question is for you. So given that history, grabe ang
Mm.
tagal na pala. 2013, 2014, na naging parang almost mainstream because of
Mm.
Katipunan. Actually, I'm very familiar with Katipunan because I guess sila yung unang parang naglabas ng maraming stock and like able to really share what they sell to many bars that people go to. And
Mm-hmm.
but I think what I am gonna ask Emil is paano naman yung public perception, like sa tingin mo, like how did people receive craft beers, considering uh, it's local, and it's like a direct
Mm-hmm.
competitor to flavors that we are so familiar with. We don't want to name the
Yeah.
brands
Yeah.
anymore. They all know that.
Yeah.
Pero how was the public perception? Paano siya tinanggap ng public?
Okay. Public perception. Well, based from my interactions, because it hasn't been that long since I was introduced to craft beer as well. I think with craft beer and even among the brewers, there's a sense of community, because as of the moment, craft
Mm-hmm.
beer is somehow still seen as something exclusive or something that you need to learn, because craft beer itself is artisanal by the way it's made and by the way it's consumed. So somehow price points pa lang, sinasabi lang, ang mahal naman, you can buy the commercial brand for this much, pero craft beer medyo ano. Pero I mean, just like what it was mentioned earlier, with craft beer kasi, there's parang it can be compared to wine nga na na-elevate yung ano mo, yung palate mo. So going back to public perception, slowly there's an awareness, especially with rising brands that are competing against the commercial brands like Encanto. Encanto almost everywhere. In any supermarket, you could see them now. You could get them from the shelves. So slowly naman, the public is getting awareness. And I think slowly then it can be recognized, craft beer can be recognized as part really of the Filipino culture, na it's not just for
Mm-hmm.
those who can afford it. I mean, even those who just want to try it, they can and they will appreciate it and they will really notice the difference.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I think later towards the show, we'll definitely get more questions from our audience.
Mm.
Um, and we'll try to answer them as much as we can. So for everyone watching, guys, send us all of your questions about craft beer.
Yeah.
But we'll quickly go into a glossary of terms. So, we are very
Mhm.
familiar with the normal beer that we have. It's just pale, light,
Yeah.
or flavored, 'di ba? Parang yun lang yung like if you're
Mhm.
somebody who just drinks commercial beer and that's probably all you know. So I know there's a lot more
Yeah.
nuance
Yeah.
to the beers that the craft breweries offer. So let's start with terms. So we always encounter the term IPA. So What does IPA mean? I'll shoot it to Karla first.
Yes. So IPA means Indian Pale Ale. Do I have to explain the history? Because I can, but
Yeah, a quick one, a quick one. So why is it an Indian pale ale? Like why is it? I mean, how different would that be from other things?
yeah. Well, the history of it kasi is when the British soldiers or sailors traveled to India, they needed beer that would last during the sailing. Kumbaga, habang nasa tubig siya, it has to come back, ay, come to India ng very fresh pa siya. So they added
Mm,
hops. The reason why it's high in maano siya, very very bitter. Not very,
mhm.
but it's bitter compared to the others. So ginawa siyang preservative. The hops is used as a preservative. Kaya siya naging India Pale Ale. So yun yung quick
Okay.
quick
Quick
history of
history.
it.
Ang ganda.
Oo.
I've never knew it. I actually just I asked. I know that it meant India Pale Ale, but
Mm,
Indian Pale Ale, but I didn't know that it actually referred to a history, a part of history
Mm.
of India. So that's really
yeah.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you've mentioned about hops and the ingredients. So, Jace, can you take us through the basic ingredients of beer? Like what actually constitutes beer when we say it's a beer? So we know about hops as like a basic ingredient. What else should be there?
So you have your hops. So
Mm-hmm.
those are basically where you get a lot of your flavors from. The hop is actually a cousin or a sister of cannabis. So if you
Oh,
look up a picture of hops, they actually look quite similar.
so
But
which
of
part
course,
of hop
they have
is used?
very different effects. It's
Like,
the bud as well.
oh wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So if you search a
Okay.
hop, yeah, they're green, they're really cute. But when you get them for brewing, they come in pellets already. And then
Mm-hmm.
of course, after your hops, you have your malts. So your malts are basically the grains that you have. That's also where flavor comes from. You have yeast, which is your activator, and of course, you have your water, which around 98% of the beer is made out of.
So it just means na pag iba-ibang quantities or ratio of the ingredients makes for different kinds of beers. Is that right?
No, actually, there are so many different kinds of hops and malts.
Oh, okay.
If you speak to a lot of our brewers, a lot of them can really really geek out on there are galaxy hops, there are Tara malts, there's roasted malts that they use for mga dark beers. So primarily, it really matters parang where the malts and the hops come from because that's where a lot of the flavor comes from. But our brewers are really really good brewers. They also know that water is actually very important.
Hmm.
So most of the brewers that make their beer actually temper their water. Sometimes they add their own minerals into it so that they can have the proper pH balance in the water to make a certain kind of beer. So
Hmm.
when you talk about craft beer, it's really a lot of it is like chemistry. Kasi,
Oh, okay.
there's really so much that goes into it, and so much of the flavor gets affected by, certain temperatures. When you put in your ingredients, um, how you
I'm
ferment
super
your
super
ingredients.
geeky.
Yes, and it's very very hard to make a good beer. So,
Okay.
that's also one of the reasons why I really grew to love a lot of the brewers that we work with because making beer is really a labor of love. It takes a
Hmm.
long time, and it takes a while for you to learn how to make
Mm.
a really good clean beer.
Okay. So I guess that's one good selling point of craft beer then. Like, if I knew how artisanal or parang gaano ka handcrafted yung isang beer na iniinom ko. Like, just imagine this one that I was drinking. Yeah. So I could, if I knew like how exactly this was done, I definitely appreciate it more, and even more that because it's a local effort. This is something that's done here in the Philippines.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
well, thank you so much for talking about that. Next up, I guess, is next. Yes, Emil. Are you opening your own bottle?
Are you
Hello.
opening there?
I think nag-prepare siya na iinumin niya.
Yeah.
Oo.
Okay. So, can you quickly talk about, because is he still there? Hello. Yeah. Emil, so I'm so interested. Craft beers come in really interesting bottles. Like,
Yes.
Yep.
like what the labels are insanely decorated most of the time, and like this one from Joe's Brew, which I actually love.
Yeah, that's really
I've had
good.
this probably a lot of times already, and it has fantastic labels, and
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
some have amazing names, and even this one, this the Tarshir one, is really really cool. So,
Yeah.
is this something that's unique to
Yes.
craft beer making? And what's the effect of this kind of branding, and sobrang gandang graphics yung nakalagay lagi, it's always eye-catching.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's great. Actually, the really great thing about the
Yeah.
labels is
Yeah.
that with
Yeah,
the
it
labels
does
you get to see the personality of
create.
the brewers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. There was a delay. Thanks,
Delay.
Jace. Go, Emil. You were saying?
Hmm.
Oh, there's yeah. Can
May
you hear us?
delay.
I think naglalag siya.
Ay, naglalag siya. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kaya mo yan.
Can you hear us? Okay. Kaya mo yan. Kaya mo yan. Alright, anyway.
Nanalig kami.
Wala na pa siya.
Wala siya. Maybe we got cut off. So, Jace, maybe you can continue with what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, so the great thing about the craft beer labels, which I really love, is you actually get to see the personality of a lot of the brewers through the artwork that they choose with their labels. We have a brand called Crows, and a lot of them come. The owner comes from a rock band, so he
Oh.
actually themed his bottle na parang tattoos. So the label
Oh,
is
that's
black and
nice.
white. Yeah, and it's really, really nice. The one I'm drinking is from Monkey Eagle. This is the Barley Sunset. The story about this was actually named after their dog Barley, that unfortunately died. The year that they made it. So if you get to know the brewers, you get to ask them about the labels. You get to hear some really, really interesting things about why they created the labels that they did.
What about this one? It's also from Monkey Eagle.
Monkey Eagle.
Yes, but that one is from their flagship. That's from their flagship. So their flagship has a more parang uniform look and feel to it.
This one also is from Monkey Eagle.
Oh yeah, yung Philippine Ale. Oh,
Yeah.
lahat tayo umiinom ng Monkey Eagle.
Actually, ito pa,
Not to be biased, that just happened by chance.
Not to be biased.
Yeah,
No,
but we get it. It's a very witty name, no? Monkey Eagle is obviously a
Yes.
nod to our Philippine eagle, the national bird.
Yes, correct.
So and to name it
Yeah.
Monkey Eagle is really really I think parang it speaks of the fun that you could have because it's a weirdly sounding drink. So you're right, Jace, with about the personality. So siguro, we're so used about like for example, to compare it with wines. It's so serious.
Yes.
Diba? Parang like it's so intimidating sometimes. Like when there's so many things, so many varieties of wine. It's so hard to start. So siguro I think the initial attraction is if you're a visual kind of person and you
Mm.
see this on a rack, and then you'll immediately probably pick it up and see,
Yeah.
okay, parang this bottle speaks to me, and the personality of this bottle
Yeah.
really shines
Yeah.
through because of the graphic design and the branding. So I guess that's really important then, no? To pick it out of a list. Parang ganun kasi sobrang dami. So
Yeah.
maybe more
Mhm.
about our Beer 101. Are there any other kinds aside from IPA, Carla?
Yes, we actually have a few, of course. So when we do our craft beer 101, we usually start with the lighter beers. So yun yung blonde ale natin, and then
Uh-huh.
lager, and then wheat beer or wheat ale. Yun yung tatlong, those are the three beers or beer styles that you usually drink first. Okay, so if I'll give you an example, so what you were drinking a while ago was a blonde ale.
Yeah.
So blonde ales are usually sweeter. Generally, they're sweeter. And then you have a pilsner or the lager. This one is from Crazy Carabao. Ayan, this is their new
Oh,
packaging. Yeah, the one that
it's
you
so
have,
cute.
the Tarsier wheat.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the
That's
old.
old packaging na yan eh.
Mm-hmm.
Yan. That's an old packaging. But now they have new packaging. So this one is their Pilsner. So this one is also very light. It's like parang
This is
Sanmig light.
this is
Ganon.
this is a wheat ale. So
Yes.
that's part of the lighter beers.
Yeah.
Again, the
Yes.
blonde
Correct.
ale, wheat ale. Is this supposed to be sweet?
Yes.
Yes, it is also.
Okay,
Light and sweet din siya. Mm-mm.
light and sweet. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so so okay, so those are the lighter beers. So going to the
Yes.
stronger ones. So the IPA.
Yeah.
What do
Before
you
you
say?
get to the IPA, start with the pale ale first. So eto
Uh huh.
yan. This one is from Encanto. This is their pale ale. Ayan.
Okay,
So,
let me see it
si
there.
Encanto, yeah. This one, para bang makeup to, kailangan ginaganon. Kailangan,
Parang gano'n na nga para
may,
mag-focus.
may ganon. So, yeah. So, this one is the pale ale. So, pale ale is generally average to high naman din, na ABV. So, ABV is alcohol by volume. So, mga 5%, 6% pataas na yon. Yun yung pale ale. And then, you have the IPAs. This one by Monkey Eagle is a IPA.
Space Queen.
Soothsayer yan, that's a pale ale. Soothsayer.
This is a pale ale. It
Mm.
says okay. So you mentioned ABV, which is alcohol by volume. It's supposed to
Yes.
be the rate or how strong we're
Yes.
expecting a bottle of beer is. Is that right?
Yes. The percent of alcohol, yeah.
Okay. So I've heard. Okay, we all know. Okay, so we've had this is 5% and this
Mm-hmm.
is 6%.
Mm-mm.
So going into the IPAs, how high can it go? Like, what's considered a high level IPA already?
Because there's an IPA, then there's also a double IPA, then there's even a
Wow.
triple IPA. So it can go up to, we have an IPA that's a 9.8. Double
That's a brewery.
IPA. Yeah, that's
Vice a brewery. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
brewery in Cebu.
Encanto has an 8%. That's their double IPA. But for others, it can go up to 12%, even higher pa eh. Di ba, Jays? Up to 14. I mean, I've tried sa other tap rooms.
Yeah,
Like,
I've tried the 12 one. Somebody made an imperial stout that was 12%, but you know, that's not for a chill night out.
Yeah.
Medyo cray na. How does that compare? I'm interested. How does that compare with our commercial beers? Like are our commercial beers usually stronger,
Oh my
or
god, no. So just to give, like, you know,
This is
I'm
a nice
not gonna drop
topic.
any brands,
yeah, no, not dropping any
but
brands.
so if I was to drink a commercial beer, let's say I'd be able to drink like half a case without a problem.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
But because craft beers are, they're made with love, they're handcrafted, they have no adjunct ingredients in them, even the 5%. Parang kung ipagtabi mo yung commercial na 5% and yung craft na 5%, it just doesn't compare. If you would normally be able to drink 5 bottles of a commercial beer, I guarantee, I dare anybody
I dare
to
ya.
drink 5 bottles of a 5% craft beer. And if you're a first time craft beer drinker, I assure you, you will struggle with finishing 5 bottles of 5%.
Correct.
I think so. Parang ang thing is, you really drink it because of the nuances in the flavor. You know,
Yeah.
the alcohol by beverage is just there. Parang it's just a
Mm-mm.
marker na parang okay, you're consuming this much alcohol, right?
Yeah.
So parang it hardly matters in the scheme of things. Parang walang paramihan ng ilang case ng craft beer na maiinom dito. It's more
No.
of parang what kind of flavors do you want in your beer, right?
Yeah, but
Mm.
also for the girls, I always say kasi parang when they think of beer, they think madaming calories ang beer. A lot of my
Ah,
girlfriends will say that, but I always say think about it this way. If you're gonna drink a craft beer, right? You drink 3 or 4 bottles, okay ka na.
Mm.
So you're actually pretty happy and you're good after 3 to 4 bottles, which means that not only will you drink less, you will also technically kind of spend less because you don't need to drink as much of it to get to that happy place than you would a commercial beer. Diba? That happy
that's so
medium
funny.
place.
Yeah. So not so much. So okay, that's one good thing.
Yes.
Another way to say that parang hey, it's craft beer is a fantastic way to get to a happy place without all the calories because
Yes.
konti lang you're there,
Okay ka
right?
na, diba?
Okay, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's really good. That's really good. I like that. So okay, so maybe another question. Okay, let's look at another question from the audience. I think I saw one flashed earlier. So
Hmm.
um we want to say hi to I think that's Andrew. Let's search if
Hi,
he flashed.
Andrew.
So it's
I
Andrew, and he was asking how many beers already are we drinking. So I actually I'm finishing the blonde ale because that was the most recommended one. Uh, yeah. So I'm about to finish one, and you guys
I
have two
am
already
I am on my third beer.
on your third. Oh my god, what are you drinking, Jace? Okay. It's the sunrise.
Yeah, so I had the barley sunset, I had the two, and then
Morning sunset. Yes, sorry.
I had a psychedelic blonde, which is also a blonde beer
Blonde
from
ale.
Monkey
Okay.
Eagle. Yeah.
All right. That's cool. So, okay guys, medyo hahabol ako kasi isang bote pa lang naiinom ko. Pero,
Habol
nasa-challenge
tayo.
ako.
Habol tayo kay
Nasa-challenge ako.
Jazel. But
Yeah, and then I'm a
Jazel,
pro.
really, super pro na yan. Wala na sa kanya yan. She's done like, I can't even count. Even before I started, madami na yung beer 101s. And
Mm-mm.
that's her forte
Mhm.
talaga. Pag
Drinking,
maglasing
Pang-inuman.
drinking ang forte ko.
Ang ganda, no?
Maglasing
Diba?
Yes.
Parang,
If
I
there
just
was a
realized,
Philippine Craft King, now you know who is the queen.
exactly. So, we call it the Philippine Craft King, but we're here blessed by the presence of a queen. So, like,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing. So, we're very glad you having to explain us here and joining us in our inuman. So, okay, maybe let's, to wrap up the whole Beer 101 thing,
Hmm.
let's go towards craft beer in a Filipino drinking setting. So, what can you say would change kung ang inuman ay craft beer inuman? 'Di ba? Alam natin yung nangyayari sa inuman ng
Mm.
commercial beer eh. Medyo may wasakan factor. Parang ang pride is the more buckets you can order out, the better. And like parang alam mo 'yon, parang hey, ubos namin 4 na buckets down. Parang gano'n. And like we're all, you know, like
Mm.
we're there, we're done. Parang gano'n. Or even more. But what does craft beer drinking change with the kind of drinking behaviors that we have as Filipinos? I want answers from all of you guys. So I think one answer first from Emil. What's one thing you can observe that would change in terms of drinking behaviors pag craft beer yung iniinom?
Well, the most obvious behavior would be just like what I mentioned earlier, is that you could start from something especially if you're a newbie to the craft beer community. So you could start with something light, and then you could go all the way up to something that's yung mga dark beers, and then yung mga stronger beers mo, which is IPA or DIPA. So there's that kind of development na nangyayari, and every time you drink a different kind of flavor, a different kind of variant, parang mapapagulat ka na, oh, bago to, oh, bago to, oh, bago to. So it's not like iinom ka the whole night kasi pag usually commercial beer, isa lang naman talaga iinumin mo eh. So ayan, palakasan or paramihan ang maiinom. Pero yun nga, sa craft beer, hindi yan paramihan eh. It's about kung ano yung type mo, ano yung gusto mo, and may express mo din sarili mo kasi nagmamatch yung personality ng beer sa'yo eh. So yun yung nanonotice ko. Especially when I was introduced to craft beer, nagulat ako sa style of drinking nila. So that would be like the most obvious behavior that manonotice mo, especially for those who will begin to drink craft beer.
Thank you so much. That's amazing insight. Maybe let's go to Karla next. What kind of, aside from what Emil has said or shared, anong klaseng drinking behavior ang nag-iiba kapag craft beer yung iniinom natin?
I think about that, parang you get to talk more about what you're drinking as to compared to what kumbaga gaano ka-toxic na. Parang gano'n. Parang in terms of craft beer, you can talk about what do you feel about this beer style? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Parang you can talk about what you're doing exactly, what you're drinking. So it's like you're appreciating beer in a whole different level as compared to when you're drinking commercial beers. So, yun, more talk, less cray-cray, and all that.
That's a good one, Karla.
I like that. More talk about the drink you're drinking. It's like more, there's a lot more consciousness with what you're consuming. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I like that. I like that kind of side. And maybe with Jace, what's like, maybe with the years of experience you have, observing people change their behaviors, especially those who are like, commercial drinker lang talaga ako. Like, parang ito yung somebody na medyo skeptic. Wala namang bago. Ano ba yan? Parang ano ba yung kaartehang yan? Diba? I think, parang pag if there's somebody na parang like hardcore just commercial beer drinker, parang this is so like maarte or intimidating. So, what did you observe na nag-change dun sa those kinds of people and then their drinking habits?
Well,
you can cite examples.
Normally, I always make a joke. I always say, craft beer, it's kind of like the Tinder of beer. There is something for everybody. And the great thing about it is that you don't have to settle. So, Diba? You can select first, parang pili-pili ka muna. And yun nga, it really elevates your experience kasi, when you open yourself up to craft beer, like love, you open
Aww.
yourself up to, so many different experiences. Like every beer will give you a different feeling, a different memory, a different, um, I guess, a different parang sense of appreciation
Mm-hmm.
for the craft that these craft brewers
Mm.
have really made. I remember the first time I ever tried a cider in my life, which is technically not a beer. Don't get me wrong, but the first time I tried a cider outside of the craft beers that I've tried, I distinctly remember that experience. I remember the very first craft beer that I tried, and
Yes.
I remember
Wow.
loving it so much that I turned it into a business. So
Aww.
the very first craft beer I tried in 2013 is basically what created what the PCK is today, because I tried it and I was so shocked that it was locally made. Parang I couldn't believe that somebody made a beer here in the Philippines that tasted just like, an imported European beer. So
Mm.
then I said, why do people not know that this kind of craftsmanship and this quality exists here in our country? And so we started the Philippine Craft Kings, and we started, distributing it uh, all over Metro Manila, because we
That's
believe that, if people got to try it, we believe that people would love it and that people would start supporting, their local craft breweries wherever they can find it here in the Philippines.
Mm.
absolutely. It's one of those things na parang it's really experiential. Tapos
Yeah.
Mhm.
when you become, or like when you experience it, like then you become a very very strong proponent. Parang gusto mong sabihan lahat. Na parang, uy, parang there's something
Yes.
beyond.
Yeah.
There's
Meron to.
something beyond what you know.
Correct.
Like if you've been drinking that beer, you've been drinking that commercial beer, do it. Come on, try
Yeah.
this and let it blow your mind. Parang
Yeah.
it's something that's then even what even blows their mind is like it's locally made.
Mhm.
Filipinos
Yeah.
can do it, right? So
Hmm.
that brings us to you know uh another half of our topic. So I guess since it's a reality right now, no, um,
Mm.
we're in the midst of a pandemic, and a lot has changed in terms of how we consume things and how we even actually the businesses and how they distribute and deliver their own goods and products. Um, I'll try to see, because what I'm trying to get at is like what changed in these kinds of efforts. Anong mga nagbago, and how do you dealt with the changes brought about by quarantine, lockdown, and the pandemic. So first of
Yeah.
all, maybe I'll shoot it to Emil first. Distribution wise, I think Philippine Craft Kings is at a huge advantage in terms of it being an online effort. So, do you think its current online presence was really helpful in, like, trying to mitigate the effects of the pandemic and the lockdowns?
Okay. In terms of distribution, well, it's a good thing that we now have an online service and people could still check out our beers online. I think the only thing that the pandemic really affected, especially for the craft beer community, is that personal experience. Again,
Mm-hmm.
since craft beer is, it's very artisanal. Also, if you're a beginner, if you're new to it, para bang, kumbaga, there's a personal touch to it eh. So yun lang, the appreciation for it, and more so na other people could recommend it to you face to face, na parang they're really pushing, oh, subukan mo kasi yun yung kagandahan nun eh, once na-introduce ka sa
Totoo.
craft beer then. So it's that, and beer by itself is really a, ano kumbaga, parang ginagamit talaga siya for social gatherings. So
Mhm.
even
And we love
when
that.
we yeah, it's really something that we do as an activity with our friends, with our family. So I think that's the one thing that the pandemic has affected the community. But for one thing, the pandemic has also pushed the community to reach out further. And now, if you have noticed, especially in social media, every brewer out there is, reaching out to their usual customers and also to new potential customers. And that's what we did also for our partner brewers. We reached out to our patrons, and also we asked our patrons if they could recommend our beers to their friends, family, so that we could still keep promoting we could still keep promoting yung locally made beers natin. Kasi yun na nga these brewers are small medium enterprises, and in order for them to stay afloat, I mean, we need this. So ayun, yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much. That shed so much, light into
Yeah.
how amazing, being on the internet and being sold online is. I mean,
Yeah.
this, PCK as a platform is what probably other industries would want for their own products. Imagine creating something as a microbrewery and have something of like a distribution channel online that takes care of
Yeah.
everything, and then top to bottom introduces your brand everywhere, puts your brand out there, and allows it to be sold to many many more people outside of your own community as a microbrewery. So parang ito na yung, I guess, the secret into you know trying to win in the time of a pandemic, in the time of a lockdown, in terms of selling. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
We all owe this to our creators. We all owe this to our craft makers. Again, with Jay said, parang it's all made with love. So parang
Yeah.
to have one place to really see it and explore and check and pay for it and order it is such an immense help with anyone who wants to try it out. So, but then that's a challenge sa mga tama ka, Emil. It's more of a recommendation thing. So more and more people that you hear like something, then the better you feel na parang like, okay, gusto ko to, di ba? So yun yung missing, the
Yeah.
social aspect of it. We have a question from our guest last week. This is Vice Mayor Justin Gatuslao of Himamaylan, Bacolod. Himamaylan Negros in the Visayas. So, Vice Mayor, thank you so much for watching this episode. I know he loves to drink as well, and he probably misses he probably misses the drinking scene here in Manila because he moved to Himamaylan in Negros when he became vice mayor.
Yeah.
But yes, do you guys ship nationwide?
Yes, we do. We do for the
Yeah.
bottles,
Fantastic.
yes.
Yeah.
I think I
If you
wanna
want
like.
beer, we can get it for you.
We'll find
I
ways.
think I think I wanna vice mayor to win our promo later. If there's nobody else who's asking questions, then like we're gonna send something to vice mayor. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
Yes.
So there was one shout out. He wants to say hi.
Yes.
Who is that?
Hi,
There was
Stephen. That's Stephen. He's the owner of Nipa Brew. We're actually launching something
hi.
really, really cool with them this week. So
Oh.
if you guys want to check out Nipa Brew, yeah, we have a
This
really
one,
cool
this one.
story that yes, that is from Nipa Sunstoke. That's a blonde ale as well.
Nipa is one of the more popular ones. I think I've heard
Yes.
na sila before. Parang narinig ko
Yeah.
na yung,
Eh, Oo. Meron silang taproom sa Makati.
Uh-huh.
So they opened the tap room recently. So when everything opens up, yeah, please come and visit them. We're also launching a very special beer from their expedition series in our Juggie's line sometime this week. So if you want to
Perfect.
know a bit more, or if you want to know a bit more about the expedition series, you can go to their website. It's about, somebody that gets stranded and caught by aliens, and now he's trapped, and you need to release him from where he's trapped. And that's the beer that we're
Maganda.
releasing. Oh, that's the beer that we're releasing this week.
Okay,
Yeah.
so well, we'll just move on to like something related again with the lockdowns and like that. So
Mm.
maybe Karla, you can talk about parang paano nag-pivot yung Philippine Craft Kings. I know you were so into, or you were getting a lot of the clients from the hotel industry, the restaurant, the bar industry, which have all been
Mm.
incredibly affected by the
Yeah.
lockdowns. So, what was the immediate challenge, and how did you guys pivot in terms of like parang if it wasn't possible anymore, what did you guys do?
So we were forced to be creative. Like all our creative juices, we had to collect it. Lahat kami, like from our warehouse to our, even from our finance, all departments had to pitch in on what we can do to help the industry. So basically, we really wanted to bring the experience of craft beer at home. Kasi lahat na ngayon, it's online, everything is delivered. So we created, or we gave birth to our Juggies program.
Woohoo!
So yeah, so you can check it out through our website. And also, you have one.
Yay!
So, kasi, ang bottles kasi, it's easy to, ano yan eh, it's easy to sell in a way. But, we had to squeeze our minds kung paano ba namin gagawa ng paraan yung mga kegs namin. Kasi not only do we sell by bottle, but we also sell the kegerator system or yung kegs nga. So yan, that's our answer to the problem or to the pandemic issue. So we created these 2 liters, and we also have a 5 liter juggie. So yung mas malaki. So
Yeah.
we brought the craft beer experience, the tap room talaga, dinala na namin sa
Yes.
bahay mo. Wala ka nang isipin, iinom ka na lang, ganon.
Totoo. And I just want to be like, I tried this the last time, and I featured this during our episode where we had our lockdown couples. So husband and wives who are stuck together during the lockdown and trying to, raise a family. And this is what I was drinking. So, and that same household was the one who ordered, I think, 2 5-liter juggies
Yeah.
for themselves.
The key to love, guys. It's the key to
Love,
loving
yes,
each other.
Parang nainggit sila because they were drinking wine, and then like I was drinking from a tap, and I was kept telling them na parang how incredibly good it is, because when it comes to you, it's still cold. As in, like, it really
Yeah.
keeps the temperature cold, and like the whole tap experience. You know how I love tap. When you tilt the baso and you get the
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you get
45 degrees.
the perfect
Yes.
pour.
and then there's the bubble, and like how I miss that experience, and what an amazing way to have it. You can bring it at home. It's not something that you're never gonna experience. PCK can make that happen with Juggies. So maybe Jace, can you tell us more about Juggies as a new venture? I know it's coming out in a new website soon.
Yes. So we are going to be launching juggies.ph. But for now, we do also have the pck.ph. So they will both be live for you to enjoy these juggies. I have one here behind me.
Yes!
Yeah, that's the 5 liter one. But yun, commercial. I want to say hi to June. He's watching. He's the president of our craft beer association. Hi, June.
Hi, June.
But yeah,
Hello.
so yeah, to give you like a brief, parang I guess history on how we came up with the juggies. This was actually supposed to be for the beach. So we actually made this for our tap rooms in on the beach, and we wanted them to visit the tap room, get a juggie, and then go
Oh,
about their day at the
wow.
beach. Oh, that was
Mm.
how it was originally intended to be used. Kasi once you have your juggie, it's cold, it's insulated, which means that it will be cold the entire day, regardless of whether or not you put it in the refrigerator. And it's already ready to use. So, you just tap it. You don't need to put it in the refrigerator, make it cold or anything like that. And that's why we intended it for the beach. But then the pandemic happened, and we realized that it was also a great opportunity for us to get people to try draft craft beer in their homes. So, bottles are great, but if you really love beer, you know that an unpasteurized, unfiltered draft beer is still the way to go. And that's what that's what we want to bring, into your homes through the juggies.
Yes.
Kasi these
Perfect.
beers, even if you have a bottle of the same beer, have a bottle of a beer, have a juggies of the same brand, the same kind, the draft version will still taste way, way better because it's way fresher. It's not filtered and it's not pasteurized.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
get your
understand. I
juggies.
am the if this all works with recommendation, I highly recommend it. I mean, I
Nice. Nice.
like I've had the fantastic experience of drawing out my own beer
Yeah.
on tap. Just yung ganong feeling na
Uh-uh.
ka-miss, and when you do it on your
Mm.
own,
Mm-mm.
boom. It's like it's in this, and you know that it's safe. You know that
Mm-mm.
you're not endangering anybody, and you're still enjoying. So that's what we do,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and a huge
Yeah.
part of that is actually drinking at home, which is what we're doing. A lot of the friends, I mean, friend groups, barkadas that I have, we have Zoom, E-numans,
Yeah.
and this show is actually just one of those parang bigger E-numans where we have an audience watching us, and like we have, topics that we talk about. So we're very happy you guys said yes to our invitation. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you for having us.
I really like having you guys talk about the whole craft beer.
Yes.
So, well, we have a little bit more time for our next segment, which is a little
Mm-hmm.
bit uh, controversial. Yeah, okay, maybe yes. There's something that we can flash on our screens before that happens. Just to tie it up with the promos.
Mm.
We have so there's Juggie.PH. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Juggie.PH
Mhm.
coming up.
Juggies.ph. Yeah.
Juggies.ph. Okay, so with an
Mm-hmm.
S, guys. And so, you know, that's there's a promo. Maybe we there's a 10% discount for Philippine Craft Kings for 4-pack beers. Oh, there you go. Thanks for the visuals, Karla.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this is one thing that I also like too. So aside from the juggies, you also have these 4-packs, and they come in a
Yeah.
fantastic box. That could
Yeah.
be that
Yes.
could be a gift, a ready gift to somebody. Like parang we all miss having to drink with our friends kung birthday nila.
Yeah.
And a lot of our friends like are saying na parang, oh, I have a lockdown birthday, whatever that means.
Mm-mm.
Parang I have
Yeah.
I have a private family only birthday, which kind of sucks when I only want to be with friends. But bring
Yeah.
it up again, Carla. Let us look at
Hey, one more
the box
time.
one more time.
Yes.
So this is the 4-pack
Yeah.
that you will get if you buy it from SM Cultura, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So from SM
They
Cultura,
deliver. They deliver if you call them. They'll deliver it to your house. And
Yeah.
we actually made these variety packs because we wanted people to try as many brewers as we could possibly give
I
them.
know there's like
So
it's like
There at the
parang
back.
naka-separate depends on like what kind of beer it is. So if you're,
Yeah.
you know, if you're a starter,
Mhm.
you can try the well recommended blonde ale first. And then there's
Yeah.
a 4 pack of just blonde ales. Am I right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Light and
Yeah.
sweet, parang the light ale
Like
siya.
There's
or like
a
the
parang
flavor
ano,
profile sweet.
yeah, there's a
Mm-mm.
certain flavor category or profile for each pack. So we have the light and sweet. So ito yon, yung pinakita ko yung yellow. And
Uh-huh.
then we also have wheat and cider pack. So that's the
Oh, I like
second one. And then we have a third one with the higher ABVs. So yun yung pale ale pack namin. So we also do seasonal 4 packs. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, we did a freedom pack during Independence Day. We did a Father's Day pack. So in the next months to come, lalo na yan, Burr months na yan, we'll be ready with the 4 pack. So it's a very, very good gift suggestion. So
Yes.
we even did a Christmas pack last year. So for sure
Last
this
year,
year
yeah.
meron din yan. Mm-mm.
Perfect. So, okay. We'll just quickly, before we move on to our last segment, I know Emil has something for us in terms of local liquors naman. So, like quick
Yes.
segue with local liquors, because I know
All
we want
right.
to give time to our local liquors because if Raffy was here, he would be like one of the biggest, fans, and like he would recommend this all the time. So I know,
Yeah.
like we also have local, aside from local breweries that we've featured heavily already. This is also a local
Distillery.
liquor distillery.
Yeah.
So it's quite different. It's not beer, but a quick segue on what you guys have. So Emil, just take it away. What you have?
Okay, so I'll just be introducing one of our best local liquors. So first is this two. So okay, I can't carry all of them. So first is this one. So ayan, Drunk Barista
Drunk
Coffee
barista.
Vodka.
Yay.
Yeah. So this one is from Cebu. So as you can see, it says there coffee vodka. So it's two things that you love. So it's either a spiked coffee or a vodka that can keep you awake. Yeah. So the good thing about this is that it's a drink that you could do a lot of mixes. So there's like
Yeah.
recommended mixes at the back of the bottle. So you could make like a white Russian. Oh wait, there. A white Russian. You just simply mix it with milk or condensed milk. And then you could also mix it with other liquors like a whiskey or rum. Then you have a bourbon drink. And then if you want like a dessert style, you
Mhm.
could mix it with ice cream. So you have like a spiked affogato.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's a really, really
Masarap
nice
yan,
drink.
coffee vodka. Best.
Yeah.
So you could never tell what's gonna happen in your day if you're gonna try this. It's like me and a bunch of friends were drinking 3 bottles of JD, and then we just drank 1 bottle of this, five shots each. And my friends were like texting me back, bro, I was able to go home alive because of that drink. What was that? So, Drunk Barista
I
Coffee
enjoy this
Vodka.
so much. I enjoy
Have you
it so
tried
much.
that, Thais? Did you try that, Ma?
Absolutely. So this
Several
is one of
times.
my favorite things. I'm a hard coffee drinker.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember.
Yeah.
I'm a hard coffee drinker. I like probably next to water, coffee is like my top liquid to
Life.
drink. And then next would be alcohol. So,
Yeah.
and then it came in one bottle. Imagine me seeing it for the first time and Emil holding it and introducing it to me. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. A lot
Oh,
of
that's
coffee
nice.
liquors, taste corny. Like parang
Mm.
like corny yung lasa. It doesn't quite, match. Parang never nagmi-mix ng maayos. But for some reason, Drunk Barista just hits all the notes. And
Yeah.
if it's a recommendation thing again, if it's like that, then if you love coffee flavored anything and how versatile coffee can be if you understand that,
Mm-hmm.
then drunk barista is the drink for you in terms of liquor. So that's one more proudly Philippine made product,
Yeah.
made from Cebu, flying the flag for the Visayas as well. And I know that the sugarcane for the vodka is from my hometown, Bukidnon. So
Yeah.
I have a personal thing with it as well.
You have a
So
And the
personal
coffee, the
connection.
coffee, the coffee is
Yeah,
also
the coffee
local.
beans are
Coffee
sourced.
beans are
Yeah.
also locally sourced.
Yeah.
fantastic. You know how hard all these local industries work for so that we can have these kinds of quality and variety of drinks. So I think yun yung isa sa mga pinakagusto nating iparating sa mga audience natin, no. We're guilty of this. Ako for me personally guilty. Na what's easy to get from like a convenience store fridge, for example. Okay, it's okay to drop it probably. I'm kind of buzzed. This Joe Brew is kind of strong pala, and
Yes.
and I
Shout
love
out
the
to
taste.
Joey.
And I love the taste. Really, this is my third time
Yeah.
tasting it, and it's insane. I love it. But anyway,
Mm.
so medyo magda-drop the bomb na ako dito, no. So we always drink the foreign ones. Soju is like, I mean, I'm sorry, Korea, but parang soju is like the easy convenience store pick. Parang like, okay, I want to get buzzed tonight. I'm gonna get soju and drink and mix it with something else. And they've come up with flavored soju. You don't have to mix it with anything anymore.
Yeah.
And everyone, it's flying off the shelves. But
Mhm.
it takes so little for us to actually support our own local stuff. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
what's really important is we can get this word out, especially in a time of like really really bad economy. We've all expected this. There's a recession, a huge recession, the worst probably that the world has ever experienced. But
Mhm.
I think what will save us, all of us, from all the effects of the recession is supporting your local stuff, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So
and there's a soju bomb. You can make a soju bomb if you really want the soju.
Yeah,
Just mix your soju
no,
with your
good.
local craft beer, and you got a soju bomb.
exactly. What's stopping you from mixing both things? If you love soju so
Yeah.
much,
Mm.
then there's a soju bomb where it's easy. You can just put it on your drink, beer drink, right?
Yeah.
So
And I'm sure it will taste amazing.
Can you imagine, no, Jazel? Like soju and craft beer. Have you tried it? Ba? I haven't though. Maybe I should.
I want to try it.
Yeah,
try it.
we should try
We
it.
should
I
do
haven't
that.
tried
We
I
it
should do
yet.
I
that.
have soju in the fridge, and I'll report back if I'm
Yes.
still alive later.
Oh, diba?
Drinking
Try-
soju bomb.
Try it first with a lighter beer muna. Like
Aha.
lager or a wheat siguro or a blonde. Mag-start ka muna sa light, then hit it with the soju shot.
Perfect.
Tapos, update mo ako pag okay, gagawin ko
Okay.
rin.
Again, it works with recommendations, so I think that's the
Yes.
best way to do it. Okay, so
Correct.
let's just go to our last segment of the show.
Okay.
So yeah, I wanna say thank you so much for all of the discussions earlier. Pero this is our ishot na yan segment.
Shot na yan.
Okay.
Okay.
Woohoo! So we're
Ishot na
here
yan.
in our ishot na yan segment, and I guess okay. So I want you guys to be ready with your drinks. So just have a drink handy.
Okay.
I need you to at least have one shot or a gulp of that drink
Mhm.
before
Ready.
we go do this. So ishot na
Wala
yan
na
is
akong drink.
wala na drink. Oh my god!
Wala na.
The queen. Hey,
Oh,
hey,
hi,
somebody
Mer.
refill. Oh my god!
Same.
Are you
Hi,
kidding?
man.
I know.
Are you
Producer.
kidding?
Okay.
Producer, Please refill.
Mamaya po yun na yan.
Okay.
Jaime.
All right. Well, anyway, so let's start with the others. So i-shot na yan is a segment where we just throw out like a certain statement, a name or a place or anything. Then if you associate anything and explain something about it, if it's something that jogs your memory, if you're something that you react. So para siyang fast talk. If you're familiar with it. So yeah. parang nag-worry si Emil a little bit. Pero like
A little bit.
so before you answer, you have to take a shot or drink something. Okay.
Okay.
So first one, and okay, let's do it with Emil first. Okay. So what is your reaction when you hear the word? natakot bigla.
Kabado si Emil.
Okay, so let's start something easy and like relatable immediately. Pandemic. What do you say?
Shot ka muna,
Trap.
Emil.
Inom ba muna? Okay.
Inom muna.
Wow, grabe lahat. Oh my God.
Thumbs up.
Dami ko pa lang mabuti. Okay, pandemic. Trap.
Trap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trap.
Trap.
Yeah.
Trap.
Trap
Okay.
like a
good.
rat.
Trap like a rat. Thank you so much. Okay, next up, Karla.
Yes.
So let's do something a little bit spicy for you. Spicy.
Spicy?
Yeah,
Okay.
spicy. So it's a question between lights on or lights off. Drink first.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Yeah.
Shy.
Shy
Perfect yung question for you.
Baka gusto sumagot ng katabi ko. Ay, joke lang.
Oh my God. Okay, ayan na guys. Nag-flash na the views expressed by the guest.
Nag-flash bigla.
Sorry.
Okay. So, medyo,
Hindi ako
sorry,
pinapansin.
Craft Kings, but yeah, this is it.
Okay lang.
Okay, so maybe ito, for the queen, something a little bit more, even more spicy for the queen. So,
Ayan na.
is it gonna be, ito na, the question, sex or chocolates?
Inom ko muna.
Inom ka muna.
Sex or chocolates?
Sex. Always sex.
Always.
Kaya tatlo yung anak ko eh.
Oh my God! Okay, there you go. She dropped the bomb. Guys, yung ganyang klaseng itsura, can you imagine?
naman.
3 children. Fun,
Yes.
like, I want to be like that when I have
Sorry.
3 children. So, like, my God. Like, how, like, kung ano man ang meron na difference si Jace, that's probably craft beer. So,
Yes, it's because I drink craft beer all the time.
so alam nyo na.
It's the beer.
It's the beer, guys.
It's the
So
beer.
kasi that was I think one of the best fitness and beauty advice earlier. Now when you drink craft beer, you drink a little less of it, but you enjoy it a lot more.
Yes.
Less calories and
Correct.
less yung wasak mode, I guess.
Yeah.
So you get to a happy place a lot better. I mean, a lot faster.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. I think that's all the time we have for now about the discussion on craft beer, liquor, and how local businesses like you have survived and thriving and are thriving during this pandemic. I guess me and Raffy, we usually have a last word when we end the show. But before, maybe it's not gonna be from me. I think I want Jace to have a last word to tell our audiences. Maybe something inspiring for business owners like her? What kind of what can you share to everyone who's running a business right now, and doing the best that they can to survive the effects of the lockdown and the impending economic recession? There had been successes in your part, so what can you tell them so that you can inspire them to also go on in the midst of all of this?
Mm.
Well, for us, I believe that our business model has always been, support each other. So the great thing about, local craft beers and, businesses is that we are capable of working together and unifying, our ideas, our visions, and creating something really amazing. So, for especially for the local businesses, I think the beautiful thing that will come out of the pandemic is that we will all learn uh, to be more inclusive of each other and work even better together than we have ever before.
Yeah.
Wow, what a fantastic message. I love it. It's hands down, if
Yeah.
it works on like how communities have
Yes.
always prevailed,
Mhm.
when dealing with one singular problem. So thank you so much, Emil, Karla, and Jace of Philippine Craft Kings. Thank you for being on the show and sharing your knowledge to us. This is by far the drunkest I
You see,
probably
so
have ever been, like,
so
in a
merong
show.
there's a basis to what we've all been saying this past 1.5 hours.
Absolutely.
How
Like,
many did you have? How many
I
bottles did you
only
have?
have two, my God, but like, I'm already
Exactly.
buzzed. Like, so this is an amazing choice for any drink for anyone watching, and we thank everyone for joining. We'll pick from,
Yes.
as promised, we'll pick from the people who've sent in their comments or and their questions to
Yeah.
win a Juggie from
Yes.
Philippine Craft Kings. So before ending the show, I would just like a quick one by one, just plug
Mhm.
something from Philippine Craft Kings. Anything you want to say just before the show ends? So let's maybe go with Karla first.
Yeah. So actually, the we'll have five winners.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For yes, we'll be giving free beer and
Woohoo.
cocktails. So I wrote it down para hindi ko malimutan. Kasi nakailan na rin ako, di ba? So kailangan ano pa rin tayo, professional pa rin. So
Yes.
so anyway, so we'll be giving out two juggies and then two cocktails and one 4-pack for those who, number one, watch the show, of course.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Second, you have to add us, the PCK, on Instagram, as well
Okay.
as,
PCKPH.
yes, the PCKPH on
Mhm.
Instagram. And number three, comment on our PCK post about the quarantine talk today. And
Okay.
then answer the question, what did you like the most about the talk?
All right. So
So
this is
that's,
all published on your Instagram. Uh,
yes,
yeah.
yes. We'll post something also. We'll try later this evening or maybe by tomorrow morning to give the details of this. But yeah, basically yun yung four things you have to do for you
Mm-hmm.
to be part of the free
The
beer
giveaway.
promo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
giveaway. And then
Perfect.
you have to stay tuned tomorrow because we have free Fridays, which is when we give actually free
Free
beer.
beer.
That's all. Free Fridays. Every Friday we give away beer. So stay
That's
tuned
amazing.
at 6 p.m. 6 p.m.
So
Yeah.
6 p.m.
So
Friday tomorrow, there's free beer that they're giving away.
yeah. So aside from our
Amazing.
regular promo, we'll add this five winner detail tomorrow. Correct?
Oh my God. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. That's amazing. Emil, you want to plug anything?
Okay. Just like Thais mentioned, please support local. So we have a promo right now. Go to the nearest Kultura store, or you could actually call them up. The details are in our social media page in at the PCK.PH in Instagram, and the Philippine Craft Kings in Facebook. So the details are there. You could call the nearest Kultura store through their Viber. You could message them that you would like to avail the promo. So those are three different 4 packs. So whichever one you'd like, you could order and have them delivered to your home. So yes, guys, hope you can order.
Perfect. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And maybe Jace, any last words, any invites? Oh, okay. I think
Froze.
Jace got disconnected. She froze.
Yeah, just follow
Okay.
our Instagram.
Yeah, I
Also,
think
the
that's
Juggies.ph, if I'm not mistaken. But we
okay.
also have a separate whole website for the Juggies. So
Yeah, so
yun
it's
yung
coming up soon.
2 liter, yeah. So yun yung 2 liters and the 5 liters. Because we also have beer and food pairings. So we call it our bundles. So you can purchase,
Oh, yeah.
yes. So you can purchase a Juggie together with a certain food. So it can be frozen food, pulutan, iba-iba. So weekly, we have highlights on our food bundles. So yun yung isa
That's
sa mga
amazing.
bago naming, one of our new launch ideas for our Juggies.
That's amazing. Okay, so
Yes.
aside from just the juggies, there's also food pairings and so many other things going on. So congratulations, most of all to you guys, Philippine Craft Kings. Our show was made so that we can recreate that feeling of talking to our friends and family over, alcohol and just, enjoying the flow of the easier flow of conversation when we have drinks around, right? So,
Yeah.
but and what better way to promote that and like bring the bar experience home that we miss so much, but with local stuff, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. We're here trying to make sure that we help contribute to a better economy, or at least an economy that survives this pandemic. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for all the brewers who are watching. You guys are also our heroes.
Yes.
You keep at least the economy afloat with the things that you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing, and we'll keep on loving you for as long as we get buzzed with just one bottle of beer, and that easily. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Emil.
Thank
Thank you, Karla. Thank you,
you.
Jace. And
Thanks,
thank you to our
guys. We enjoyed this. We super
thank you
enjoyed
so much.
this.
I just wish Raffy was here because talagang, alam mo yon, so
Oh
maraming
gosh.
yun eh. Like,
If
but,
if Raffy were here, we wouldn't have stopped.
oo, like,
Baka
yun lang
umabot pa
iniinom.
tayo ng
Oh my
2 p.m. Ay, 2 a.m. I mean.
So, Raff, partner, I hope you get well soon, and
Get
see you in the
well.
next
Get
episode.
better.
Get better, yes. Well, thank you so much. This has been E-numan with Thysz Raffy, brought to you by Quarantalk Media. See you next Thursday for another episode. Makabuluhang inuman na naman, guys. Peace out. Thank you so much, PCK.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye.